let's do the book review for
When's the thing starting up?
It started already.
So,
The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. A counterintuitive approach to living a good life by Mark Manson. I normally start doing the book reviews. Does anyone want to start today, or should we just stick with it?
Let P roll with that still.
Alright, cool, no worries. Mine's quite short and sweet.
Book review, everyone. Book review. We're doing a book review, fully booked. So you're gonna have to. We've done so many seasons now. Season 4.
No, 3.
Season season 3. Sorry.
That's a lie. This is season 4.
I just followed what you said.
Yeah, so this is season 4.
Season 4 book review. Mark Manson. Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. We got a big response on this on the Instagram. I remember when we first posted and said we would be doing this book. It was one of our most liked posts at the time, and all we done was post and say, yeah, this is next in the catalogue of books that we'll be going through. So we know people have been out there buying the book, they've been following with us. So this is the book review. Leave your thoughts, comments, and all the rest. P, if you want to kick off.
Cool, no worries. I really like the book, and even more so once he stated he'd been travelling, because I felt I was able to really understand his perspective. Not that it would be any different for anyone else, but that's a real sense of detachment. Not necessarily from the world, which is a little true, but from the distractions in life when travelling. I liked and felt he told good stories.
Would you say? I might interrupt.
What were the odds on that? Go on.
So you see travelling as... Sorry, because I want to delve deep into you as well, as all of us do.
Pause.
Yeah.
Pause.
So when you say the distractions... that come with travelling, do you mean what's going on?
I mean, because he spoke of, I know we've read the book, I don't want to say a while ago now, but he spoke about some of the distractions in life in terms of not actually caring for some of the distractions that we do in, dare I say, maybe the Western world, dare I say. So it could be your social media and all that type of stuff, the material clothes you wear and stuff like that. And whereas obviously when I was travelling, those type of stuff are not actually important to you. The important stuff are the people around you, having good conversation, taking in your surroundings, and just having maybe a greater appreciation for life. So that's what I was talking about. But once he stated he'd been a traveller, I think I was able to maybe understand some of the things he said a little bit more. I was able to look at it from a different angle.
Do you have any examples to head? Sorry if you don't, it's just...
No, I don't. But I mean, he seemed really free and very... I don't say spiritual, but he seemed very free. And at that time, certainly when I was travelling, I felt that way as well. And he feels like he hasn't got any... there's no real limitations of what he feels I don't think what he feels he can do, because I don't think that's what I'm trying to say. But he doesn't put any... I think maybe any real great emphasis on things. I don't know if I've really touched on what I really want to say.
Do you know what? I'll let, obviously it's your review. Hey,
but feel free to
jump in.
No, but this all. Look, let's just go back to the basis. This all started because we used to have these great discussions, and that might involve organised chaos with me being the chaos. But it all started because we used to have we read books, have a discussion, we just butt in and
do your thing, bro.
What I would say is with this book, one of the things that, and you was kind of hinting at it, but even the chapter names, they have that sense of freeness of just be yourself. Do you get what I'm saying? So that's what I can take on board what you're saying.
Yeah.
So you, with all that being said, feel free to carry on.
Thank you. I liked and felt he told good stories, to which the moral of the stories were very poignant, such as the moments of none.
You're not reading the script over there, are you?
No, I'm not. In fact, no, I am actually. So the moments of none or fuck to... Oh, basically, the moments of non-fuck, that's what I was trying to say. The moments of non-fuck.
Non-fuck?
Non-fuck.
Oh, yeah,
non-fuck. Are the moments that define you. Major switch in careers, the spontaneous choice to do something, and as he said, what's the worst that can happen if you decide to do so? Which is something which I'm beginning to take on quite often, in that, what's the worst if... I mean, I was talking to you only a couple of days ago. What's the worst if... I forget what I was saying as such. If I decide to... I can't think of an example. I was having a conversation with a girl, and she was saying she's interested in moving to the UK now to do this, that, and the third. Her friends have also done so.
Yeah.
I go to her, what's brought out? She goes, you. And she goes, you, like, because that's stuff like you do quite frequently.
Yeah.
And then I asked her, what does she fear most in life? And she says she fears being poor and being lonely. And I said, the thing I fear most is actually not achieving what I've set out to achieve. And then I went on to say, in terms of her fear, in terms of being poor and lonely, I said, you're poor already. And she's probably well to do. I mean, like, she's well to do. But I'm saying is, you have nothing. I mean, you live with your parents. Yeah. I mean, you're in a good profession, but your money's not taking you far. You have nothing whatsoever.
It's not even that, bro. It's like it depends what you judge your poorness or richness on. Do you know what I'm saying?
Very true.
Yeah.
And you can be rich. You could be rich monetary, right? But poor in life.
Relationships.
I'm glad you say that.
Just poor as a person. Just poor, like
no soul.
Yeah, just like you could feel poor,
Right.
which is why you get these people, these high-profile people with millions upon millions of social profile followers, committing suicide and doing drugs to get for a sense of escapism. Do you know what I'm saying? Because they're poor.
My next question to her was actually, if you remove all your material items, what do you have?
Yeah.
So it touches on basically like what you were just saying.
She had a
as well.
good answer though, innit?
She did. I forget what answer was. So I was telling you, and I was like, she goes, "Why are you so quiet?" We'll go messaging. I was like, "Why are you so quiet?" And I was thinking, "Shit, this bitch has only just done an answer, said something I didn't expect to say." So I was quiet for a second. I forget where the conversation went, but French got me there. That was true. Like continuing.
Just to say, because the lonely thing as well. So she feels like she needs to have friends or family. She needs people in her life.
Yeah, I think based on knowing her, I feel she's kind of.
But that's what she said though. Is what if you took away all the possessions, what did she have? And she said, my friends and family.
That was it. Yeah, that was her answer. Friends and family. Thank you. If you took away material waste stuff, she would have her friends and her family.
I think that's a good answer.
It was a very good answer. Yeah, got me anyway. Problems don't stop; they just improve or get greater. And it's how well you deal with them. Choose your struggle. Choose what you worry about. Be in control of your problems. Suffering is inevitable, so let your struggle stand for something. In some of the things and transitions I'm going through at the moment, I'd really recommend this book in general, in particular to people perhaps sitting on the fence with a drive or passion, or carrying the weight of the world on their shoulders at this moment in time, as I think it will give you a sense of release and potential freedom, and urge maybe to actually be a bit more proactive. I'd give this book a comfortable 4 out of 5 because of the angle taken and direction of the book, which I felt really relatable.
Cool. Yeah, that's a good review.
Thank you.
I'll jump in then, unless you wanna go.
That's fine.
Alright. boy in the corner and that. It's fine. Alright, so the title, straight to the point, it's intended to shock. It's a strong statement. Anytime I've said it amongst either friends, family or peers, because it's got the big fuck in it, it's almost like, oh, that's quite shocking, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? So it's meant to shock you and kind of think, when you do read the title, what's that about? The introduction is a sharp jolt in what to expect from the subsequent chapters, wrapped in a counterintuitive rags to riches story, which I did enjoy. It sets a tone of literally not giving a fuck, and in regards to that story, it's I'm not even going to go into the story too much, but read the book and you'll know what I'm talking about. But it sets a tone of literally not giving a fuck, which threw up some questions on the podcast, such as, can you accidentally own your truth, or is it always intentional? And can being fixated on positivity be a detriment, which we did discuss, and if you want to go back and listen to the previous episodes, you can hear our answers to those questions. They did bring up interesting views. It's quite clear how it's written to be inclusive of the reader by referencing us and we, which makes the reader feel closer to the author, as there is a mutual understanding of what is being said. For example, page 8, we feel bad about feeling bad, we feel guilty for feeling guilty, we get anxious about feeling anxious, what is wrong with me? The intention of his thesis is made clear here. If you don't want to feel bad, don't give a fuck about it, to paraphrase. It definitely has its place in the field of self-help and development motivational pieces of literature, adds to the forever increasing scope of what the genre consists of. It's self-motivation with an iron fist, especially made more apparent in the PC era that we're living in currently. The book is written from a personal perspective of experience of his life. He mixes parables, philosophers, self-help literature to his own individual experiences to provide compelling counterintuitive viewpoints. For example, on page 85, when we force ourselves to stay positive at all times, we deny the existence of our life's problems. And when we deny our problems, we rob ourselves of the chance to solve them and generate happiness. Problems add a sense of meaning and importance to our life. Thus, to duck our problems is to lead a meaningless, even if supposedly pleasant existence. Overall, I agree with his train of thought. Nevertheless, there are some ideas or thought processes I would choose not to cultivate, such as I say don't find yourself. I say never know who you are, because that's what keeps you striving and discovering, and it forced you to remain humble in your judgments and accepting of the difference in others. And that's on page 139. I personally currently believe you need principles to live by, however not as rigid as set in stone, but adaptable like water. And a phrase comes to mind: if you don't stand for something, you will fall for anything. The book is geared towards millennials still trying to figure life out, and is done in a very personable manner.
Sorry to pause you. Does he? 'Cause I know I know both of you have followed Mark Manson a lot actually, and listen to a lot of podcasts. Did he? Is this something that you discovered from reading the book, that he's aimed at that target market? Is it actually something he stated?
No, this is more my review on it.
I think so a bit as well.
What's that?
Yeah, I think I agree with you. I mean, there's angles.
I think it's that's my personal opinion, whether it is the intention or not, but that's just from reading it. I feel compelled to mention that I think it's geared towards millennials. I think it's done in a very personable manner, which reflects today's cultural exchanges on a daily basis, such as various social media platforms that allow a very personal interaction with people who you wouldn't have been able to a decade ago. It was so informal, it was quite easy to imagine having a bespoke conversation with him, as it is relatable and written in an inclusive way. At times I could have sworn that was the case. From the start to the end of the book, there is no ambiguous language or sense of entitlement to be heard. His language can definitely be turned the air blue, but for good reason and to great effect. To wrap it up, I personally would recommend it to someone who may not read much on the self-development genre, but has reservations on it. It would be an introduction to the field, as it is light-hearted with nuggets of insight to living a great fucking life. I will be reading again and another couple times. I'll be definitely reading it again and probably read it another couple more times. I'll highly recommend it. It would get a 4 out of 5 stars for me too. It's quite.
Where would you rank it again? So I think this is the 4th book in our season, isn't it? I know the first one we've done was more relationship based. Where would you rank it against the books we've read so far on our podcast?
Top 2. I think the first one that we read,
Attached.
Yeah, that's been the
Season
best
1.
one. Yeah, I think season 1 for me that was a really good book to sink your teeth into. If we're comparing it to How Not to Die and what was the other one?
Mask of
Masculinity. Yeah, I'd put this top 2 still.
I 100% agree with you. I think those 2 books we mentioned, I think are probably most relatable to where I believe people are now in terms of their relationships, or needing to
a direction in life.
Yeah, direction in life.
Yeah, so that's my book review. I'd highly recommend it. Go and get it if you haven't got it already.
Okay. Well, the man waiting for me. Yeah. Alright, cool. I'll start off with just the format and the text of the book. The start of I'm Not Giving a Fuck by Mark Manson. It was you both know I'm not the type that likes to just stop reading, not really understand what words mean. I understand well enough that books are educational and they're actually meant to increase your vocab and understanding of words and how to use them. And it's all good. But I do like I'm a sucker for an easy read I can swiftly breeze through and just understand it there and then. And this is one of those books. So as French did point out, this, if your introduction to self-help field was this book, you won't be disappointed. I'm going to touch upon, I thought most of the book was very positive in terms of the messages I got from it. One example is chapter 4, I think it's the value of suffering. And it just, that resonated with me because I've mentioned it before in the podcast. People know out there that I've got two lines of work, and people will say, "Oh, why have you got that second job for? Why do you have a second job?" And I don't think people realise that when I grew up, most of the arguments in my household revolved. The nucleus was always around money. It was always money. And I remember thinking, like this money thing. Like, why does it have to be currency in the world? Like, it's just BS. Like. But whatever, it could be arguing about something silly about like why was, I don't know, like it's like
most mundane thing.
Yeah, like, oh, why did you make that? Like, do you know what I'm saying? It's so silly, but it all came back to. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Why did you have the last bowl of cornflakes or something?
It could be something like, why did you went down the shop this week? You spent no, like, why did you buy this or whatever?
Yeah.
This when I was a child, and it was like it always came back down to like to dough basically. So I remember like. And obviously when I grew up in like, when I was young, I lived in like South Acton briefly, was a lot homeless, but we lived with like my mum's sister and then moved to Greenman Estates. If you're from West London, you'll know Greenman. It's been knocked down now and regenerated, but it was a notorious estate, druggies, all the rest of it, concrete blocks, not very pretty. So, and we lived in council housing most of our lives. So I think that value of suffering that I got, like, even though, and as I've said it before as well, let's just get one from, I never wasn't that kid that went to bed hungry or anything. One thing was always had clothes on my back and the rest of it, but I knew money was an issue in my household.
Yeah.
So that value of suffering, I think that's put a sense of thing in me, because sometimes people don't understand. I could go out raving and then I could have work in an hour and I'll still get up and work. For the record, man, them in the studio know today, I got in from a flight at 7:30 in the morning. I had work and I went straight to work at 9. And I had a 12-hour flight. So that's just me in it. I'm like, it's just in me. Like, unless I'm dead, I'm going in. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and I think, as I said, that's the value. The value of suffering can teach you, like, core strength almost. Do you know what I'm saying? To be emotionally resilient. Do you know what I'm saying? So that's something that resonated with me from the book, which I liked. I really liked his do something principle as well, which I can't remember what chapter it was, maybe 7 or something like that. It is 7 actually. But the whole do something principle, if something like, just don't do nothing, do something, whether it's a little bit a day, whether it's just, if you have the most disastrous, something disastrous happens to you, do something, like, doing something's better than doing nothing, still moving forward. And I'm a sucker for doing nothing myself, do you know what I'm saying? But the whole do something principle, if I could embed that, and embed that into, like, when I eventually have children or my family members, all my younger cousins and that, when I've tried to, at a certain age where they can be influenced, I always try and give them positive advice. Go and do this, or what do you want to do, or just work towards it. Like, and I'm proper, like, now the older I get, and if I have the opportunity, the option, when I do have children, I want to give them the opportunity to do something in terms of, I might set them up for a month's worth of piano lessons, then a month's worth of French class. I want them to do something. I want to find an interest and do something and work hard at it. Do you know what I'm saying? So I really valued that in the book as well. This is really poignant actually. So in chapter 8, I'm not reading from any of the stories or anything, but I'm just going by the titles. Chapter 8, the importance of saying no. And what's mad is, and you man don't know this, but what's mad is I'm one of them people, yeah, and like that. If people ask me to help them, I will always try and help them. There might even be a part of me that doesn't want to do it, but I will still do it because if I'm in a position that I can help them, I will. But it's got to sometimes it gets to a point where, like, this is what we'll say. It's around money situation. It gets to the point where, like, you realise that. Say for instance, someone says, "Right, I can never set up money," and you say, "Yeah," they'll be there. It could be 8 o'clock. They'll be there at 8:01. and it could be 3 miles away, 30 miles, whatever it is, they'll be there quick. Like, and the only thing that I want back from that, or you would want back from that, is that same determination you had to go and get that money. Show that to try and get me back the money, or let's just say if it's money.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And when you realise, I'm not even trying to bring no one out here, but there was one year, and I don't even want to bring out no one, but there was one year.
Let's say the thing.
Nah, don't worry about that. There was one year that I remember I lent someone some dough, yeah? And that summer, it wasn't a big amount, and I never got the dough back. But that summer, I remember it was like desperate, like it was first thing in the morning, they said they sent out a message to 3 or 4 people.
Yeah.
And I was the first to start responding, they were thankful. And it wasn't a big, as I said, but that's saying something. I was like, they actually said I'll give you the money, bro. That summer, there was like every festival going. And I didn't remind all the money, because it was a minimal amount, but I just thought, so hold on, you have money for all this, but you never had your priorities straight. And my priorities being not getting me back the money, priorities being, I know the reason why you asked me for that money. Do you get what I'm saying? So after that now, I kind of taken stock, and like I've done other little bits and bobs, but I was proud of myself the other day. The other day, someone asked me for something, and I said to them, I could do it, but I'm not going to. Yeah. And it's the first time I've done this.
Yeah.
And I said at first, I said, I can't right now. Or I'm not going to. And it goes, yeah, I understand. I goes, nah, I've actually got the dough. But
I'm loving that you some no. I couldn't even finish anyway.
No, because be honest, isn't it? I said, I've got the dough, but I've got other things going on, and the fact of the matter is, just because I don't highlight those things to a mass audience doesn't mean there's not things going on. Do you get what I'm saying? And right now, I can't have. I'm not shotting out here. I can't have a certain amount of money out on the road, so to say. That's what would he say?
My money's out in the street. Money's out in the street.
Yeah. I don't hear you. I can't. I said I can't have too much money on the road right now.
Yeah.
That's exactly like I said. That's why I said not right. I said, sir, I'm not in a position to do that right now. And whether or not I lost a friend or whatever because of that, I haven't, because we still speak. But it was like that whole the power of saying no.
Was it someone that you've been through that with before, in terms of you giving them, whether it's a monetary thing
and they've always come back. So as in like when I say come back, I mean never like run off and fob the man or whatever.
Okay.
But
that's understandable though.
Yeah.
That's understandable. If someone can't do it at the very moment in time, that's cool. But if it was more, if you put it in a different situation where it's like, alright, cool, boom, you've given this person X, Y, Z, and they've just taken a piss, and they've come back again, and you're like, boy, I've got it, but I ain't giving it to you. They can't really say nothing. You're in your very own right to say it, and even in the same situation that you're just referring to, if you have got it and you can't do it at the moment in time, no one can knock you for it. It's just like, okay, you know, as a person, if I could, I would, but at this moment, as you said, I can't have such X amount of peas on the roadside right now, so I can't do it. You can't put yourself in jeopardy to help someone else.
Exactly that. So that was another thing I took from the book, and what I really liked is the last chapter, chapter 9, and then you die. And what's so poignant about that is, at the end of the day, we all gonna go.
Yeah.
Like,
of course.
Whatever you wanna, Pocket, you kind of nailed this a little bit as well in a different way. Whatever you gotta do out here in life, or whatever is important to you, whatever you love, so obviously within content, do as much of that as possible to keep your mind frame and your soul positive. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, because, and then you die. Do you get what I'm saying? It's hard because you're raised from young, save for a rainy day and do this and do that, but at the same time, bruv, imagine striving, and it goes back to Mark Manson's point actually throughout the book, where he says we can't all be legends or greats or special. Imagine striving. You get there at 70 or something, and you die at 74. It's like, right, like I had all this on my bucket list. Do you know what I'm saying? It's a hard juggle, but I suppose when you feel that sense of freedom like he does, it's not even a debate.
I don't think it's amazing.
No, but I know what you're saying, because your mindset's more elevated into this than probably myself, and I don't know about you, French, but definitely more than myself.
We had this conversation today, I think.
Is it?
Yeah, the same conversation today. Like, what did I say? I can't imagine, like, getting to the end of my life, I said it'd be a huge disappointment. I get to say 70, because the number you threw out, and I didn't achieve what I wanted to, or I didn't.
That's my biggest fear, and I think
that's my huge fear. In fact, no, I was having a conversation about the girl. I think that's huge fear.
Yeah, that's the biggest fear, not achieving, or not to say not achieving, not. I can't remember the statement I said, but basically, not fulfilling my
what you feel is your purpose almost.
My purpose, but just not fulfilling my potential.
Yeah,
that's the phrase I was saying. If I don't fulfill my potential, then not only I'll be let down, but it'll be like I would feel like I've wasted my life.
I genuinely believe that as well.
Yeah, that's a genuine true statement. Like, if I don't fulfill my potential, I feel like I've wasted my life.
And by the way, it's important to actually live in the here and now.
You got to live in the moment.
Live in the here and now in the moment. I think a lot of people don't do that. Live in the here and now. Enjoy your time, as in like today, but also plan for the future as well. You know.
To my last point, so I've said all these positive things, and obviously I've touched on and then you die. So do you know what? Try and live life as such, because and then you die, do the things you want to do. And as I said, Mark Manson throughout the book kind of hints at we can't all be great, we can't all strive, we can't just exist almost, and exist in your best form, if that makes sense. But there's chapter 3, I think it's called "You Are Not Special," and I saw someone on my WhatsApp, you know they do the WhatsApp statuses now.
Yeah.
They put and it's poignant because they put up on their WhatsApp status they had packed their little boy's lunchbox, but they've written a note on it saying like you are so special, mummy loves you, like, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the fact that Mark Manson has the cheek to say you, like, almost, he's written a book, every million, how many copies sold?
2 million.
Over 3 million copies sold, and you open it up and this point staring at your face, making someone feel you're not special, like you're just a number, you're nothing.
Yeah.
Nah, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. Yeah, I feel like at the age we're at now, and as we are in this group, I feel like someone telling us that we can back off. We don't really care.
Yeah, of course.
But I feel like you're telling me at 8 years old you don't want to encourage your child to.
But I think that's different. Yeah, I think it's different. I think we're looking at different angles. But finish though.
Yeah.
You don't want to encourage. So you're telling me.
I think it's different though. Go on, I'll let you land, but
especially at a young age, you need nourishment. You need someone because.
Nourishment, I used to love those.
15, 16 years old.
Nourishment and Maryland cookies. Why? That was a thing on the roadside, I'm telling you. Trust me, dog.
Maryland's on the red pack.
Hey, yeah. Double chocolate, the purple one as well. What? Yeah, say, go, bro.
That's cool. Yeah, like, I feel like you need to be, especially at a young age, and if you're a parent or you're an older cousin, you're an uncle, you're a god, whatever you are, you need to be encouraging people. Like, I got my godsons there, and one of the things, I don't really see them that often. When I see them, I just kind of make them, I don't even know, I don't use the words you're special, whatever, but I definitely,
I want increase positivity.
I want that for them. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I feel like you telling someone they're not special is almost putting them down.
I think to go on from what P was going to say, like for an 8-year-old, obviously you're not going to tell them that you're not special. And I think part of what he was saying, there was a stage where the government and just the people in charge, air quoting, said to all, like, tell everyone basically that they are special. I think this is to do with EQ as well, emotional intelligence, and basically what they discovered was it's not just about being intellectually intelligent, it's also being emotionally intelligent. So let's tell everyone that they are special and they are great, and if you take part, then that's what matters. It's not about who wins. So what he's trying to do is being counterintuitive by saying, look, you're not special, you're just as normal as everyone else, and shit does happen, and do you know what I mean? Like, because you've been getting told you're special all your life, you expect everything and everyone else to think that you're special and you're great, and when in reality, not to say you're not special, but
yeah.
don't have that assumption that you are so special that
your shit
don't stink. So that in that respect, that's where he's coming from.
Fine.
Like I don't think it's not been written for an 8-year-old to pick it up and be like,
I'll be very surprised. I think
I'm not special.
What do you mean? You give these 8-year-olds a lot of credit.
Special.
Oh yeah, no, I definitely, as I said, there's part of the book that I don't agree with. There's certain things that I couldn't stand with, like as I mentioned prior in regards to not having nothing to stand up for, like just going with it. I'm not with that still. Like if you, as I said, if you don't stand for something, you fall for anything. So there are aspects of the book I don't agree with, but in general, the overall thesis of what he's trying to say, I agree with, and I will read it again. And it does have some good pointers that he's made. So yeah, I think we're all in agreement. Actually, you didn't say what you'd give out of 5.
I would give the book. I don't know if we rated. Right, first off, I'll give the book. If we were doing out of 5, I'll give it. It can't go any less than a 4. Yeah. But at the same time, if it was out of like 10, I'll give it 8.5. So it's a bit weird.
Okay. Yeah, it makes that's equivalent.
Yeah, and it was a good book to read. It was I'm not gonna say I'm slow, but I'm definitely one that wants an easy read, and it was a good read. It was an easy read, a good read, understandable. You can take stuff from it.
Would you recommend it?
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head when you said if you were introduced to the kind of self-help book world, this is definitely a kind of a goer, a doer. Yeah. If that makes sense. Yeah, to get you involved. And yeah, it's probably my second favourite book so far that we've read.
Yeah.
Since we've been doing the podcast, we've read more. But like,
yeah. Since we've been recording, top 2.
Yeah, man. So we want to let the people know what we got coming next.
I'm not too sure. I almost forgot what we were doing next for a second. I don't know.
Let's just leave it to the socials.
Yeah, we'll see our socials.
Hit us up on the socials, and you'll find out what book is coming up next.
Remember,
we've been dropping hints anyway. I'm sure we might have released.
Yeah, we have. Yeah, we have really. We actually been throwing a couple here and there on the post. So if you're quick-eyed and vigilant, then you'll kind of know what way we're going in.
Yeah,
the direction.
And for all those that saw us down at the London Podcast Fest, we were in and amongst the crowds. Thanks for like kind of saying hellos and encouragements and saying you love what we're doing and so on, and adding us and subscribing. Remember, we're on all the socials at @full_e_booked.
Yes.
On the Insta.
Yeah, all of that.
Twitter.
All of that.
Podcast app, the iTunes.
Acast.
SoundCloud. Acast. We're about, man. We really are.
Soon to be on Lipsin.
Yeah, Lipsin.
Yeah.
Lipsin tea.
It's a Lipsin tea. It's a Lipsin tea.
But yeah, nice one. It's alright. Book review.
Done.